Be the Real You podcast. And I'm Sherry Harmel. If you've never met me before, I am a coach and also creator of the whole platform of Be the Real You products and services and programs and whatnot that really help you to step into the real you. Well, today's episode I titled, Are You Fun? And if you don't know the answer to that question, just ask the people around you. And I say that because I learned a long time ago that I wasn't all that fun. I remember, I must have been in my late teens, early 20s, and my father turned to me in one of his moments and asked me the question, Sherry, do you ever have fun? Now, at the time, I found his question more than a little judgy. I felt he was painting me as less than some of his other kids, who I guess were fun. But I loved fun people, I still do, and thought, well, wait a minute, aren't I fun too? So that question is one that I still think about. And it takes us into the topic of fun, because being the real you is being able to have a very deep understanding of who you are. And on the topic of fun, if I'm honest, I have never been someone who other people would describe as hysterically funny person. Trust me. Oh, I have a funny, dry sense of humor, but I've accepted that no one, absolutely no one, is going to vote me in as the most fun person to have at the party. But does that sound like I don't have fun? Absolutely not. But what is fun? I ask that question. Some people say they love their work, and so that's fun to them. Actually, that's me. I love my work. But no matter how much you love your work and fun are different. So if that resonates with you, maybe we should first talk about the definition of fun. The dictionary says fun is lighthearted pleasure, enjoyment, amusement. But let's go a little deeper and ask, what are the requirements of fun? Well, you have to enjoy what you're doing. That's a no-brainer. You have to find yourself smiling or laughing with abandon. And also, you have to be completely in the present moment. Nothing outside of that particular moment is in your awareness when you're having fun. And last, and that falls under the category of play. Work fell into all those categories of fun except the last one. Think back to when you were a child, when you had fun playing, whether it was a physical game like kickball or you were making clothes for your Barbie dolls. You weren't thinking about anything but what you were doing in the moment. It was an activity that you loved with absolutely no desired outcome, and that's the key ingredient to fun. Fun and play means that there's no to-do list, there's no check-offs, and there's no desired outcome. You and I might both love our work, but it's not in the category of fun, because work always has a desired outcome, doesn't it? That's why work is not in the same category as fun. You can love your work, but it's not titled, quote unquote, fun. But I'm thinking, if that's the case, I might need to schedule in some fun. I want you all to think about that. Seriously, some of us have to do that. And for those of you that are naturally fun, you probably find that statement absolutely hysterical. But fun is important, and it is important to make sure that you're having fun in your life. And why? Why is fun so important? Well, some really cool things happen in our bodies and in our minds or our mindset when we have fun. First, play boosts your energy. When you play and have fun, you are energized to tackle whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life. play actually gives you the energy to accomplish more. So, if you often feel tired or even exhausted, the first place to look is how much time in that 168 hours that you have every single week are actually devoted to fun. Number 2, your body produces serotonin when you play. Isn't that cool? Serotonin is that amazing chemical your body naturally produces that regulates everything from your sleep patterns to your moods. It's a happy chemical. And science has proven that when you play, serotonin is released. And I don't know about you, but I want an abundance of a happy chemical in my body. Why? And this leads to the third benefit. Because of that serotonin, the effects of any stress that I'm experiencing in life, and life is full of stressors, that stress is lessened. I'm able to bounce back from better, quicker from stressful events. And overall, I lessen the negative effects that stress has on my body. And I love that. Well, that's science. Now I'm going to add one more benefit of fun. Fun increases your creativity. So even if you're an artist, and there's many of you out there, and you know that you lose yourself while you're creating, you too will benefit by adding fun and play that has nothing to do with art. I get all sorts of ideas for my business, for my personal life, for where I want to go, what I want to do, for my dreams, when I have fun. When I had young children, it was through fun that I'd see them as these unique little human beings, separate from my parenting roles. Why? Because fun is like a reboot for your computer. Except the computer in this case is your mind. Fun literally clears your mind of negative thoughts so that you can start anew and often see things, see situations, see the world, see your children, see your husband, whatever it might be, with new eyes, just because of your experience of fun and play. Now, if you're struggling with negative thinking, and that's something I hear from a lot of women I work with, start doing some playing. In my Recapture Joy mini course, which is one of the Recapture Joy mini course is actually on my website at sherryharmel.com. But one of the mindset tricks that I talk about in that course is how you don't just go for a walk, but while you're walking, you might want to add something fun, like suddenly breaking into a skip or deciding that you're going to march down that street. Why? Because adding a skip to your walk is essentially play. And because play releases serotonins, as we now know, you'll start to see possibilities rather than problems. And ladies, I ask you, how fun is that? Now, back to planning out fun. Try out different activities and be willing to be different. That's what being the real you is all about. Fun isn't the same for all of us. For example, as you all know, I live in Paris half the year, and that's a city of almost unlimited museums. But I have accepted that most of the museums make me tired. I'm talking incredibly tired. In the beginning of my journey, I didn't tell anyone this, and yet over and over, I'd find myself in the museum coffee shop or restaurant while everyone else was off looking at art, and I'd have a coffee and my journal. I should actually, now that I think about it, I should write a book about museum coffee shops and restaurants. And one of my favorites is in the Louvre in Paris. But when I accepted that museums were a totally energy drainer for me, I wanted to figure out why. Initially, I was sure that I just needed to fix something, and this is possibly going to happen to you when you start to try out fun activities. I thought if I fixed whatever it was that wasn't working up here, then I'd be this avid museum goer. But nothing worked. Standing in the crowd in front of the Mona Lisa, which is tiny by the way, I'd be paying attention to all the people. Where were they from? What language were they speaking? How were they dressed? Maybe for a second or two I'd look at Madame Lisa, but it was mostly about the people who were visiting the museum, not the art. The only museum I've ever had fun in, and some sadness I have to say, was the Musée Nissim de Commodore. It's in Paris. I highly recommend it because I wrote about it. I loved it so much that I wrote about it in the second edition of Be the Real You magazine, which comes out July 1st. That is a museum that completely engaged me. When I visited it, there were hardly any people in the museum, but even more important to me, there was a story behind the house. There was a story behind the times and the family that lived there. I have fun. I learned. I have fun when I'm in a story. That was play for me. I lost track of my own life when I was in that museum. And that, my friends, is the true definition of fun. So when you're scheduling in fun, it might take you a while to figure out what's really fun to you. But ask yourself, are you energized by the activity? Do you feel happier and more optimistic when you do it? Do you get all sorts of ideas or see connections to things that you didn't see before the activity? Well, those are your clues to identify what fun is for you. And it might be different from what you expected. Maybe it's trying out a new recipe, gardening, window shopping, playing with your kids, watching a sunrise. Remember, though, that for it to be truly fun, it must not have a desired outcome. You have to let yourself be in the moment as you do it and let everything else in your life get quiet. So, what about you? How do you have fun? Try some things out and then make a list. And I invite you to share with everyone in our Facebook group. Not only do we get ideas from each other on ways to try out having fun, but you actually, by doing that, you take the first step to scheduling some fun into your 168 hours each week. Now, ladies, on July 1st, and I alluded to this a little bit, the second issue of Be the Real You magazine comes out. Oh, I'm so excited because it's a fabulous issue. 2 interviews with amazing women. Michelle, who is an artist, and Jessica, who's a health coach. Both women have made the decision to honor who they truly are, use the gifts that they have to impact others, and be happy. There are also a couple of new sections I've added after hearing from our readers. A brand new style section that's written by the amazing stylist Sarah Griot. I don't know about you, but I need style help all the time because it doesn't come naturally to me. In addition to Sarah, we've got a fun little summer drink, a good book with my favorite tea, and my list of some of my favorite things, which, by the way, includes a lot of fun. So join us by hitting the subscribe button on sherryharmel.com. It's only 4 issues a year, and I did that so that you have the time between each issue to enjoy the articles and try out some of the suggestions. Now, this magazine, honestly, it's going to be like your best friend. You'll enjoy your time together. You'll feel comfort that you're not alone in your quest to be the real you. And you'll get all kinds of ideas of ways to support yourself. So join the excitement, ladies, and sign up for Be the Real You magazine if you haven't already. I want to thank you for your time today. And remember, schedule in some fun this week and then share your list of fun in our Facebook group. And always, always Be the extraordinary, the unique, and the star that is you. Be the real you. A biento.